Let's go! You know, 3 idiots on a podcast. Like,
I don't know what I'm doing.
Runs sucks.
We don't know if any of that's true, but Bill. Oh, Jordan, don't give me this technically crap. Come on.
Got personal this week.
Lots of stuff happened.
Chad Berger, Brian Dawson with USD.
Yeah, you're wrong.
You guys do it in a really professional manner, and it's awesome.
All right, we're here. Good evening, Coyote fans. Welcome to the latest edition of the Howling Podcast, where we don't know what we're doing. Chad is indeed not a golfer. Mark hates most of Omaha. Jordan Decker here. Guys are all here tonight as well. Chad Berger, Mark Wendt, yours truly. We are ready to go to recap and look forward to another week of Coyote athletics. Friend of the show, women's basketball coach Carrie Eighmey stops by. As always, looking forward to visiting with her and previewing basically a brand new team this season. I am super hyped to have Coach Eighmey on. We will recap the week that was in Coyote athletics, as well as look ahead to the upcoming week. And as always, we close out with the show with our eye chart of the week nominees. Some business first, though. Quick disclaimer. The opinions on this show are ours and do not represent USD Athletics. Social channels. Catch us on X at HowWithUs3. You can catch humbly yours truly, Jordan Decker at JD6OP5, Mark Wendt at WDiamond605, and Chad Berger at Chad Berger, BIRGER at Chad Berger. On Facebook, just search The Howling Podcast. Please like and follow. That the Facebook page is a little new to us, so we're looking to continue to grow that, provide additional content to you guys through that. So at The Howling Podcast. If you are watching on YouTube tonight, thank you. Please comment with questions to Coach Eighmey and really comments to ourselves. If they pertain to Chad and Mark, we'll post them. If it's to me, we will hide them. Just search at The Howling Podcast, and please smash that subscribe button. As always, tonight's show is brought to you by our friends at 19 Brewing Company in Vermilion. Always a great spot, pre-game, post-game, during the week if you're down in Vermilion. Love Legacy. Big fan of the Legacy beer. Now, hey, before we get going, though, a quick word from Katie at 19 Brewing Company.
Looking for a place where good beer meets better company? Welcome to 19 Brewing Company, Vermilion's first craft brewery and home to Coyote Legacy Blonde Ale. Brought to you by 2 USD alumni, Coyote Legacy isn't just any beer. It's a chance to give back to student scholarships while enjoying a refreshing blonde ale. With 12 rotating taps, a flavor-it-yourself seltzer, and homemade root beer, we have something for every Coyote fan. 19 Brewing Company. Good beer, better company.
Now, I'll tell you what, guys. We welcome in Mark Wendt, Chad Berger. I had a few Legacy beers during the football game on Saturday.
They were needed.
They were needed. We'll get into that in a little bit. But, hey, great to see you guys. Welcome in all the viewers and listeners on this week's episode. How we doing?
What a week. What a week.
Guys, no one has more fun at games than the 3 of us do. So we had a fantastic weekend so far. Fantastic week. Let's talk a little bit about it, though, huh? You guys ready?
Yep.
All right, Mark.
Soccer had a game down in Omaha, town I do not care for. Came away with a 2-0 win, secured a playoff spot for the Oats. So congrats to the soccer team. They played
Take that, Michael.
Michael Schumacher.
Shout out Michael Sharp.
Michael Sharp. They also played this afternoon, had a late lead there and slipped away at Denver. Volleyball had a 3-match week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, all W's. Football, as we mentioned briefly, and we'll get into it a little later, 21-13 loss to Illinois State. PJ Lamoni, if you're listening, the men's basketball team did have an exhibition. We're mentioning it here against Northern Arizona. We'll get into that in a little bit here as well. Men's golf finished second. Joe Rowling had I think a school record or wherever we were golfing. Sorry. Women's golf finished 7th. Ella Greenberg finished 5th. Triathlon was 3rd at the West Regional Championships, and Chelsea Weber placed 8th overall. So congrats to her.
All right. What a fantastic week. Lots of wins up there, lots of great performances. But we're looking forward to some other great performances. And so we're going to bring on Coach Eighmey. Coach, welcome
It's
back
actually
to
a
the show.
picture. I love this.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me back. I'm excited to be here. And I will say, you guys do know how to have fun at games. Our staff happened to sit right in front of this crew at the game on Saturday, and we were entertained. Best week I've had all season.
Good. Yeah. It was one of those things. It was a tough one because I had 2 different games going on in each year, and then one of them was the one we were watching, and there was a lot of different stuff happening, and so I felt like your husband was trying to talk to me, and I was like, I can't hear a thing you're saying. I don't know what's going on, but I just nodded my head and smiled, and he seemed to appreciate that.
It's amazing because I think he was yelling, and I told him that multiple times, like, you're yelling in my ear. And also, which brings up the reason why I do not sit in games and I do not stand near him ever, because he's very loud, which is helpful for our team, but not helpful for my hearing.
Oh,
I was really tempted to go live. I know you and your hubby had turned around multiple times and said, hey, should we go live? I was on board with it. I was even down to get my wife and kids in on this, but Chad and Mark were a little hesitant. Mark was on cloud 9 from all the game festivities, but
yeah, we'll talk about that. Well, that's a lot coming up here, but we want to talk women's basketball here. Let's talk women's basketball. Yep. Yes. So, Coach, obviously everyone knows a lot of turnover in the off season here. Players left and new players coming in. What do we expect to see on the floor this year for the Oats?
Well, I think you're definitely going to see some athleticism. I think we did a good job of really improving in that area in a lot of different positions, not just, at the guard position, so to speak. I feel like our forwards are a good mix of athleticism and some physicality. I think Patience really brings that in the paint for us. Along with our other contingent of forwards, but she's kind of the one that brings the physicality most often. But then Elise and Josie and Katie as well. They're that group of forwards is going to be something new for our fans. I think they haven't seen that in a couple of years, but the 4 of them are. They're all different. They're all unique in their own way and kind of bring something different. And so it's exciting because we can play kind of any combination of those 4 at any time. And then also feel like we've got a fun group of guard contingent with a couple of point guards that are really going to be able to push tempo and they're just true point guards. And then several good wing players around them. So long answer, but to just say athleticism, 1. And I just think 2, just overall, just balance, versatility. You're going to see our offense really working together to create a lot of great scoring opportunities.
Coach, to follow up on the athleticism part of that, maybe a PTSD from a question you got a lot last year. We are going to go for a defensive rebound?
We are. We are.
Awesome.
We are. Yes. Yes, that is definitely something that we'll do. And we've got, Elise she's hard to keep off the boards. And then we have several guards who are also pretty good offensive rebounders. So we'll crash and rebounding, just generally speaking, you guys have heard me say it before, whether it was on your podcast or other interviews, but defending and rebounding are a must. You got to be able to get stops in those game-winning crunch time moments, and you got to be able to trust your defense to be able to find a way to get a stop without fouling and be able to close out games that way.
Coach, with a lot of our fans, with the transfer portal, everything, it's still relatively new to a lot of them. Can you kind of dive into who's coming in? What are we looking at with the women's basketball team with transfers, and who's coming in? What do they bring to the table?
Sure. We've got a lot of them. We've got 8 transfers. And one of the priorities that we had was to make sure that they weren't all the same class. We wanted to try to even out some of our classes with only just bringing back, Olivia Kiefer and Coral Mason. Wanted to make sure that we brought in some experience. Our guards as transfers, we've got, and I messed that up. I'm sorry. We've got 9 transfers, 8, one short. So it starts with Angie. Our fans are familiar. She played at Denver last year and had a really, really great second half of her season. Point guard who can score it, really athletic, really, really good on-ball defender. We're really excited about her and how she's going to be able to bring her experience and just skill to the team. And then several other guards. We've got Jenna Hopp. Fans were probably familiar with her as well, as she was on South Dakota State roster for the last couple of years, played a lot as a freshman. Jenna has a high motor, really, really tough player. She'll step in and take charges and do all the dirty work and good, strong body. And then we have a few other guards. Olivia Moore, she's from the Seattle or Spokane area, was most recently at Seattle University. Olivia is a good shooter, has a ton of experience. She's got a good basketball IQ. Molly Joyce is from Iowa, transferred from Truman State University, can really, really score it. She scored the ball extremely well at Truman State, lefty, and also has a good athlete and has a chance to be a really good defender. Alex Flattery, transferred from Nebraska Kearney. She's actually a player that we recruited there a couple of years ago. And Alex is from Sioux City and elite athlete and really good defender as well. So huge guard contingent. And then, like I said, we brought those 4 forwards that I was talking about earlier: Patience, Elise, Katie, Josie. All 4 of those are transfers. And Josie, from a South Dakota native. So super excited to have her back here. And then Katie from Ryerson, transferred from UNI. Elise is transferred from Tarleton State. And then then Patience transferring in as well, was at Georgia State, but before that, grew up in Minnesota and has some ties with Coach Fess. So again, really, really excited about that crew. And like I said, not only are they good players, but they all have college basketball experience and have played, some minutes at whatever level that they were at. So really, really excited about that group.
So, Coach, you get a new group together. How long will it take you to kind of get an idea of your rotation and who's going to be playing? Is this something we expect to see, Monday, November 3rd, or is this something where it might take you a few weeks to kind of figure things out?
Yeah, I mean, I think that depends on position, just depth at positions, things like that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, obviously we've seen what we've seen throughout summer and through the preseason and practice, and now we're in regular season practice. So you get an idea. But at the same time, until you really start playing games, sometimes you don't entirely know. This is a group that really competes, and it's exciting because they come to practice and they compete their tails off. And they also have a really good understanding that they're making each other better while they're doing that. And so it's going to be really exciting to see. Obviously we got a little glimpse of it when we played the exhibition game at Colorado State the other day, or against Colorado State at the Pentagon. But there are still some figuring out who can play with who, and what stretches are they best, and all of those sorts of things. And so I think, I don't think it's going to be, I don't think you're going to see the exact same players play the exact same minutes throughout the course of the entire season. I don't think that's how it's going to be. We want to create some stability at some point, within the pre-conference season, while we want it to be super predictable and stable. I like I said, I feel like we've got a lot of really good weapons, and there may be some games where a couple of players play more in that game than they maybe did the game before. But hopefully by the first few weeks, you'll start to get a good understanding of who's going to be playing when and where, and all those kind of things. I'm not a huge fan of like mixing up starters just to do that. I do think there's some stability in knowing what to expect, and just allowing the group to try to create some sort of, okay, we're starting, and we're gonna get this team off to a great start. Just in the same way that there's certain groups that will come, and it'll be very, very evident that they're the players that should be in at the end of the game. And that's, I think, sometimes what fans or just the general population doesn't understand is starting's really important, but so is closing.
For sure. Coach, I just want to talk a little bit about your non-conference. We're talking about that before we hopped on, and kind of a Power 5 school, and it seems like a non-D1, and then we go back to a Power 5 school. Can you talk about how that came together and what you like about that setup?
Yeah. Schedules are interesting now, especially because you don't always know who you're scheduling. Their entire roster could have changed by the time you play the game the following year. But, I think for us, it's important to make sure that we kind of spread those out a little bit. I think, you want stretches there's a few things that we really look for in our schedule. One is to make sure that we have stretches where we can rest and recover between games. And sometimes that's a little bit challenging because our conference is smaller. So we have to play a few more non-conference games than some other leagues do. So being able to spread them out in a way where we're able to get good rest and recovery, but also have some opportunities to practice and fix some of the things that we might be seeing, that are not going very well, or areas that we need to improve. And then also even opponents, being able to mix those up. And so you're not just loaded up with, 3 or 4, Power 4 or super difficult games back to back to back, but maybe spreading those out a little bit, making sure that you've had some time in between to really fine tune and make sure that you're correcting, and really the goal is to become a pretty good version of ourselves as a team by the time we get to conference. And so, just kind of having some rhyme and reason for when and why we're scheduling those games is, I think I really feel like it sets you up for success later on in the year.
Coach, we're having some technical issues with Jordan here, so I'll go ahead
Okay.
and take his spot, and we'll hope to get him back in just a moment. But
Okay.
so one of the players that you have to replace from last year is Grace Larkins, who is an all-time great. She was really, really, really good at basketball. How do you fill in a gap that big?
You don't replace a Grace with especially one individual. Grace is a very, very unique player anyway. And then to be able to do what she did, especially for us last year in particular, is insane. I mean, she had an incredible year. So we're not going to try to replace Grace. We're going to probably be different, and we don't have anybody who can do what she did. But what we're doing now is trying to create, a team that's going to have to be way more balanced. Like you said, it's unbelievable, really, when you think about the way that Grace was able to do the things that she did. Funny story for you. This is kind of ridiculous in some ways, but the last day of practice that she had before we played in the conference tournament, I was like, I'm going to try to guard her. Obviously I'm old and out of shape and all the things, but I was like, I just want to feel like, how difficult is it to guard her? And it is extremely difficult. Let me just say, I could not keep her in front, even for one possession. She scored on me just like three times in a row. And I was just like, okay, never mind. This is insane. So yeah, back to what I was saying. You're not gonna replace her. And you don't, that has not even really been a part of our conversation of just like, how do we replace Grace? We do have to replace a ton of scoring. That's for sure. And so, like I said, this team is built more for balance and versatility and working together to get great shots. And, there's going to be some nights where it might be one player that's the leading scorer, and then the next night it might be somebody completely different. And, that's probably more of the makeup of this team.
All right. I think we've got Jordan back. Jordan, unmute yourself here. Let's see there.
I don't know what the heck's going on. It's like super close and down. Sorry, I'm on my phone now, Coach. Hey, good segue. I got a lot of questions from Coyote fans, Coach.
Okay.
What's the style of this team this season?
The style. I would say offensively, we can play fast, but we're gonna be like I said, we're going to share the ball. It's going to be a motion-based offense, but hopefully we're going to be able to play some inside out. Hopefully we create a lot of shots from the ball touching the paint, whether it's off of a post touch or off of a drive. Our point guards can really create for themselves and other people. So, I just feel like it's going to be a really balanced attack on the offensive end. Defensively, hopefully we're a team that people are like, man, they're tough to score on. They are disciplined, and then they finish possessions with rebounds. And that's going to be something that, we struggled with that last year, but we feel like this is a team that defensively can be pretty good as long as they, finish those possessions with hitting bodies and coming up with the ball.
Coach, you did add a couple new coaches to your coaching staff, Coach Fessler and Coach Smith. Can you give us a little background where they come from and what they bring to the table?
Yeah, I mean, I've known Coach Fessler, not like super personally for a long time, but we were both in Division II. He was in the NSIC when I was in the MIAA. I had a ton of respect for him. He built a great program at Concordia St. Paul. We have some mutual friends, so when I actually would have been interested in hiring him even the year before that. But he had just taken a job maybe a week before I got the South Dakota job. So just a little too late, the timing. Sometimes it's all about timing, and the timing was just not right. So when I had an opening this year, worked out, and he was wanting to come back this way. And he's been an incredible addition. He's obviously, he was a head coach for a long time, so he's got a great basketball mind. He does a great job of building relationships with the players, and has a ton of respect from them as well. And then Dalton actually, rewind, probably 10-ish years ago, he was actually a practice player for me at Nebraska Kearney as a student. And then he was an assistant coach and graduate assistant at Wayne State for a couple of years. And then he went down to Kansas State, and he's been there for about 3.5 years. So really excited to have him. He's got some different experiences now. He's coached for other coaches, and he's really passionate, ton of energy, super excited for both those guys. They're going to do a great job.
All right, I'll go next here, Coach. So a few weeks ago, we talked a little bit about, fan behavior and, things with mental health and everything else. And I don't know if you saw any of that or any of the clips that were out there, but how important is it to you? We had Tanner on the show last week, and he's fantastic. How important to you is it that USD prioritizes student athlete well-being and mental health?
It's awesome. It's super important. It's the issue of mental health and just suicide prevention. All of those things are extremely important. Even in our program, each year we have Tanner do some team sessions with our team. This year he did a series on confidence and how our players can think about that and work through some of the issues surrounding that. It's I don't know if you guys knew, but when we did the exhibition versus Colorado State, we had the opportunity to partner with Live Inspired 365 out of Sioux Falls, and it was awesome. We were able to have them come in and visit with our team and just share about their organization and the good work that they're doing in Sioux Falls and really the entire state of South Dakota they're impacting. Personally, I've been impacted by suicide. One of my former teammates and one of my close friends actually took her life a few years ago. And so, it's something that's extremely important to me. My background is psychology. I thought I was going to be a therapist, actually, never actually planned on being a basketball coach. So it's definitely something that's a priority for me. Tanner, having him as a resource for our athletes. I know several of our athletes over the course of the past several years have met with him regularly and have really benefited from having him around and having the opportunity to work with him.
I don't know what the order is anymore. Jordan, are you up?
Yeah, I can go ahead, and I apologize to everyone. I don't know what's going on my end, but Coach, we have so many great resources at the University of South Dakota. What when you're on these visits with recruits that are coming in, what are you telling them? What's the draw to USD and to play for your program?
Well, I'm not even making this up. I actually just had a conversation a few days ago with our senior point guard, Angie, and she's from San Diego. She spent her first 3 years at Denver, and now she's in Vermilion, right? And so I just asked her, how's it going? And she just said, Coach, it's really hard to explain this place. There's something about it. And I just said, would you say that it's everyone says the people, and I said, would you say it's because Vermilion is so small, right? That the people are what's here, right? Like people are more intentional about maybe relationships because it is a smaller community. And she was like, yeah, that's exactly it. So there's so many things here that we can sell, of course, like the facilities, right? And just the convenience of the fact that our kids can walk across the street from Coyote Village and get, to our offices, get to the gym, the weight room, all the things. All of that is great. But I think the thing that alums have shared with me that our current players share is just like the people are different. And I think Coyote fans, I think they do embrace it, but I think they need to continue to embrace that and remember that really their support is a lot of the reason why people from places like San Diego are willing to come to Vermilion, South Dakota.
All right, Coach, we'll let you out of here with this one. Hopefully we can get you on at another point during the season so we can ask you some questions about what we see on the court this season. If not, you can send your husband as well, or one of the other assistant coaches. We always love to have, visit with lots of different people. But we're looking forward to this season. And I don't know if you know this, but we started something last season called it's called the Sip at the Tip, where we take a little sip of our beverage at the opening tip off of games. And you probably don't notice it too much, but Coach Peterson really appreciates that. And it doesn't have to be an alcoholic beverage. It can be Gatorade, water, whatever you have there. But it's kind of fun. We try lots of different things to get fans involved, but how important is it to have fan involvement at games when your team is trying to compete out there?
Super important. I think that makes all the difference. I mean, I think, again, what you ask, what we sell in recruiting, when fans are engaged at the SCSC, it's an advantage, a huge advantage. So it's extremely important that they're not just there, right? But they're engaging, they're supporting, they're, yelling, they're doing whatever they can do, right? To be a factor, because it does matter. There's nothing more important if you're home than to create an advantage. And I think, I think that's sometimes with like streaming now and like being able to watch everything online, I think people forget that one of the great things about being a fan, right, is that when you're there, you actually have an opportunity to impact the game.
Yeah, definitely. In person, way better than streaming. 100%.
For sure. I think our athletes are inspired by, the energy that, like, for example, when we have that elementary school game, it's going to be crazy in there. And our kids, our players love it because they feed off of that, kid-like energy. So I think it's super important.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you so much for joining us
tonight.
Yep, we appreciate your time. Like I said, we hope to have you on sometime during the season as well. If it's possible. I know things get kind of crazy during the season, but we'd love to hear from you. Get kind of a mid-season report if we could.
Absolutely. Anything for you guys.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Go Yotes.
Go Yotes.
Thank you, Coach. Go Yotes.
All right. Well, guys, we're still batting 1,000 here. Our guests are always the best on this program.
Yeah, she's awesome.
What are the odds that we all sat near her during the football game? I mean, it was awesome yesterday.
You know what? I think when we were walking up the stairs initially, I got a few looks like, oh, I don't know. This I was coming to maybe just enjoy a little bit of quietness in the football game, and then you see Chad Berger walking at you, and then pretty soon Mark Wentz behind, and then the whole Decker family comes up there.
Hey, half those folks that were sitting in section M that had their feet over the rows in front of them, they were sipping their teas, whatever. They didn't know what the hell was about to hit them when they saw Chad Berger, Mark Wentz, and then eventually Jordan Decker and his family coming up those stairs. As Mark said, we ain't here to just sit, man. We here to be loud and be proud.
Well, speaking of that, let's go ahead and bring up news and notes. Mark.
News
Segue
and
MVP.
notes.
Here we go.
Chad Berger made some media rounds this past weekend. Hopefully you were able to catch some of that. He was on at the mic with Michael Schumacher out of Vermilion/Yankton. I guess it's Fox Sports Radio now. I almost said ESPN, but I think it's Fox Sports. He was also on with Jose, Vermilion Unplugged. So did a great job in both those spots. Then Saturday, we had a day. Man, did we have a day. Chad and I, my good friend Doug, Naomi, and Caitlin, we won tailgaters of the game. Long time coming. They finally ran out of people to give it to. So we finally got it.
Let's go ahead, Mark. Let's pull up the picture here. So this was the photo when we were awarded tailgaters of the game. Having a great time. Food was spectacular. Great job on the grill, Mark. And then they showed it up on the big screen during the game. And it was the place was electric at that point. I mean, everyone in the whole place, all of our section was just so proud to be sitting next to the tailgaters of the game. So fantastic.
Unique opportunity. You don't get to sit next to tailgaters of the game very much.
Yeah.
So, no, that was awesome. And then really the highlight of the year for me, probably top 5 moment all time for me since I've been putting on red stuff. Got a chance to do the Coyote Hall with you guys pregame. I think we have a video of that as well. Thanks to a friend of the show, Avery Van Hook.
All right, let's go ahead and pull that up. How cool was that? I mean, all three of us, you guys' families were down on the field as well. That was pretty awesome.
And then we rolled to a 52-0 victory, right?
Mark, I cannot thank you enough for that opportunity. Not this is not for me. My boys raved about, I mean, they're going to bring it to their teacher, and their teacher is a big Coyote fan. And they talked about it the whole way back. I mean, and you getting to do the high, and I thank God for you and allowing us to be a part of it. That was awesome. That whole pregame experience. I didn't send the picture to you guys, but like my oldest was so tired. He was laying on the turf, and it was, the whole hashtag Yotes passed out thing. And I'm like, dude, you got a 3.5-hour football game to get through. But hey, you were nervous. You were awesome. I hope you were up here the whole freaking time because that was great. And hopefully some of those fans heeded your advice a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a weekly thing. That's not a one-time suggestion. So it's a lot.
Bingo.
Not a spectator sport. It's a get involved kind of a deal. So.
Well, what else happened, Mark? News and notes.
Okay, so we started awarding a couple of Howling Podcast Awards. Started it last week, and this week, Howling Podcast Veteran of the Week is yours truly, Mark Wendt. Back-to-back weeks for myself. So just, continuing to ride that hype train that's been going my direction here a little bit. And we're also very proud to announce the Howling Podcast Professor of the Week is none other than Dr. Carrie Eighmey. Back-to-back weeks for her as well. So
can we do this for O? Dr. O, is this okay? Can we
congrats to her once again, back-to-back. And we still have it down here. I know there were some people online that were talking about canceling season tickets, and it's not time to abandon ship yet. Get your football tickets. Season's not over. There's football to be played. There's stuff to play for. Maybe a little steeper uphill climb, but still important football. And as we mentioned before, like butts in the seats can make a difference in a football game. So, or any game for that matter. So get your tickets.
So I had mentioned earlier, no one has more fun at games than the three of us. And to illustrate that, I did want to pull up a little video clip from the volleyball match. This one, just kind of highlights how much fun we have. Spectacular. I laugh at that every time I see it.
Yeah, some people get distracted by my kids being super cute, which they were, but yeah,
Chad, what the hell are you doing? Mark reaches out to you and you're just like, nah.
It would creep me out. I was not expecting it. All of a sudden he's grabbing my hand. And it wasn't like he grabbed it like in a a friend, like I'm grabbing your hand way. It was a pretty creepy gesture. So
what is that? Neil Diamond? Respect the Neil Diamond. Would you?
Yeah. Well, hopefully we didn't violate any copyright laws by playing that clip, but that was a fun time. Just part of the action that we have. We've said it on this show before, but no one has more fun than us at games. We're always smiling, laughing, having a good time. That's the way it is.
I do exist. I am to the left of that probably picture there. I'm off screen because whoever operates the camera never catches me when I'm at the games. Excusez-moi.
Well, it's all in good fun, Jordan. Well, anyways, there were games that happened, and so let's talk a little bit about the football game versus Illinois State. You can see that the Yotes ended up on the wrong end of this one, 21-13. Yotes got off to a decent start with that field goal in the first quarter, and the first quarter leading 3-0. And then at halftime, trailing 14-10, we're all thinking, oh, hey, this one, the Yotes are really kind of, doing their thing here and got plenty of room for improvement in the second half. And then the second half, the offense didn't really put up much of a fight. And the Yotes were able to put a field goal on late to bring it back to a one-score game, but it ended up 21-13 for a final. You can see it was in the Dakota Dome, and our stats crew does not take the easy route. They put the temperature in there of 72, even though I felt like it might have been 73 or 74.
It was hot. It was hot.
Yeah.
No breeze.
On the field temperature, probably not, where we were sitting. So 72. Yep.
But as far as, the game goes, you can kind of see the drive chart listed here for USD. And I don't know, Jordan, how would you describe it? Not
good. Not good.
What I found interesting about the drive chart is the reason I put it on here is when I woke up this morning, I was trying to figure out, did we punt 100 times? Did we have 700 3-and-outs? I believe there's 2 or 3 consecutive 12-play drives. The problem was that we were starting at our own 3 and our own 2, and we were driving it out to midfield and then stalling out there. So, just overall, just really frustrating offensive performance. We never really, like we talked about at the game, it just never felt like we were even close to scoring for most of for sure, the second half.
Well, guys, wasn't it the opening kickoff where, the Yotes literally had a fantastic return and then it gets called back for a penalty? And, Gary Culver
voted on those line judges. Don't.
Well, okay. Whoa. Coming up later here, okay? But Gary Culver said on the broadcast, because I was listening, and he was like, it seems like every time we get a big return, there's a penalty, and every time they get a return, there's nothing. And, obviously, it's one of those things, but that's stuff that's the Yotes have to clean up. Cannot get those big plays called back because of penalties, whatever the reasoning there. But yeah, Mark, you are correct. There was 13-play drive, 14-play drive, 12-play drive, 12-play drive, all of those, and they resulted in 10 points. And so that's
that's
gotta get a little bit more out of that. All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a look here at some stats. Aiden Bauman finished 21 for 38 for 173 yards and a touchdown. LJ Phillips Jr. had 26 carries for 129 yards. Carson Fletcher had 10 carries for 55 yards. I thought Fletcher was looking tough out there. He
runs mean.
Yeah.
Just so hard and aggressive.
Yeah. And so overall, the Yotes had a really good game rushing the football, as you can see here with those two. But passing wise, 173 yards, we got to get a little bit more than that. Lorenzo Fenner had 4 catches for 66 yards, and Jesse Miller had 3 catches for 19 yards and a touchdown. But, not quite enough for the Yotes.
And I've told you guys this too, like, hey, we love the Yotes, and with love comes positive and negative stuff, right? Like, it just seems like our offense, man, have some fun. Just play football. I don't know whether it's play calling or just reading. Oh, you got the banner again. Oh man, this is a 2024 thing. But just like keep it simplified. Like, hey, we love y'all, but just keep it simplified. I don't know how many times, whether it's a section we're sitting in or text or whatever, like, do we have tight ends? Where's the 5-yard dump offs in the middle of the field? But I feel like our offense has some great talent down there that can be utilized a little more. And it just seems like we're overthinking things. And I know fans are frustrated with certain aspects of the offense, but just have fun with it. Like, we've got some great weapons on offense. Like, don't overthink. Keep it simple. The defense is, and I don't know the game plan. I don't know the game plan. I don't know the Illinois State. I don't know the upcoming defense, like what they show, whatever. But utilize those weapons. We utilize them in the backfield. The runners are great. Let's open up the playbook a little bit. I'll say it. Let's open up the playbook a little bit on offense. That's just me. That's my opinion. I am full confidence in our coordinators and our players. I just feel like we're overthinking things a little bit with what we have.
So something else I know a lot of fans were frustrated with, about 6.5 minutes left. There was some questionable clock management and questionable offensive play calling. That there were times where, dive up the middle is maybe not the optimal play when the clock is running and you're down by 2 scores.
Yeah, that was, like Jordan says, obviously we're not in the headset. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what a lot of things are happening. But yeah, it felt like for a lot of that drive, we were thinking we were down a field goal and we were down 11. We needed to score twice. And it just didn't, there was no sense of urgency in that drive whatsoever. So I know we got a little chirpy up there where we were sitting and other folks were as well. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, we don't know the answer, but the defense played great. Yotes defense is really doing some great things this season. And you can see some of the stats for the defense right here. Tackles galore there by Nate Ewell, Caden Crawford, Chris Dixon, Mikey Munn. You just go down the list, and then you can see there were 3 tackles for loss there listed. Nathan LePerry got one, Masai Newsome, a sack for Nathan LePerry, and a forced fumble for Duwan Lewis, and then some PBUs on there. There's all kinds of good things going on for the defense, and the defense held, I feel like you hold them to those 21 points, and it kind of comes down to the offense holding up their end of the bargain.
Yep. Played well enough to win. The defense played well enough to win again, for sure.
I'm a bad co-host here. Do we have time of possession? I just feel like the defense was on the field a lot more. I'm sure it was pretty close to 50-50 with time of possession. I just feel like the defense was out there kind of counting on the offense to put a bigger, more consistent drive together, and they just couldn't. And Illinois State, I know that they were quote unquote slumping according to those FCS national, folks that called them slumping, but that's a darn good football team. We had our opportunities and we couldn't capitalize on offense. Open routes missed, opportunities missed, and we knew even a month, 2 months ago, even going into the season, that Illinois State was going to be a tough go of it. And luckily we got them at home, and we just couldn't capitalize, shooting ourselves in the foot.
The stats are we had the ball for 36 minutes. We were 10 and 19 on third down, 2-2 in red zone. I mean, it all looks good. It's just we did not finish drives.
Couldn't finish drives.
Yeah, 13 points is not enough.
Well, where does that put the Yotes then in the Missouri Valley standings? Well, you can see right here, still near the top. North Dakota State took care of business up in Brookings the other day, and so they're still at top of the conference at 5-0, 8-0 overall. North Dakota is still undefeated at 4-0, and then it's South Dakota State at 3-1, and then South Dakota at 3-2. So you can see South Dakota's not out of this thing. And if you look at the remaining opponents, you got two above you in the standings still sitting there. So some chances to knock off a couple of those people and make some stuff happen, make some noise.
And I know we're trying to move through this and this episode, Chad, but we're not out of this. The Ivy League being included in the FCS, will a 7-5 Missouri Valley team make it? It depends. But I feel like the Yotes definitely have to win out. And guess what? 2 of the last 3 games of the season are at home. And I know we got that for sure on Mark there. But anyways, we've got an opportunity here. And I hope Yote fans, my God, the last couple of seasons have been absolutely incredible. With FCS playoffs, semifinals last year, do not give up hope. Get the 24-hour rule. Overreact. Sun will come out tomorrow. And guess what? We get probably a top 5 based on the rankings that'll come out tomorrow. UND team, much respect to them. They are a fantastic football team, but they're coming to our house, and we have a chance to upset them. I have full confidence in our defense. Offense, there's some things that I hope that get worked on this week. But again, the weapons are there. Can we execute it? And if we can beat UND, we can beat SDSU. I fully believe that. And those are the 2 games ahead of us that we need to take care of in the Dakota Dome. And I hope fans realize that. And I hope they get out to Vermillion and get to the Dome. Well, sorry. I had to get on that soapbox there because I've seen too many tweets that's the season's over. I'm like, bull crap. There's 3 weeks left, 4 weeks left. We get the bye at the end of the year.
Yes, we do.
Let's support these guys.
Agreed. All right, let's move on, though, because we got a lot of show to cover here.
All right,
a lot of show. So let's talk volleyball. So we talked women's basketball. We've talked football so far. Let's talk a little bit of volleyball. Hey, we're back, guys. We're back, right?
Here we go. We're back.
I feel like the last couple of weeks here, we've had a few question marks on things. Last week we were coming off that loss to South Dakota State at home. But this week, the Yotes took care of business. 3 matches, 3 W's, 3-0 on the week. Started off by going up, in this one went up to Benson Bunker Fieldhouse up in Fargo in front of 629 people. And the Yotes, just put a whooping on North Dakota State. Didn't even, the first set, Yotes came off a little bit slow, lost that one 25-22. But then, hey, look at set 2, 25-14. Set 3, 25-20. Set 4, 25-18. Goodness gracious. That's a whooping there. No doubt.
And Coach Williamson said that's a tough place to play. I don't know the record, whatever, but Fargo's never easy. So great job. Great road win.
Yeah, it was over after the second set.
Yep.
You could just kind of feel it.
We knew it.
Yep.
We were all watching. We knew
Called it.
And some of the percentages, if you look here, goodness gracious. Avery Van Hook, 556. Amanda Lotion, 500. Audrey Nelson. You're going to hear the name Audrey Nelson several times in the next few minutes here. Okay. She might have had one of the best weeks ever as far as volleyball goes. She's just crushing it right now. Audrey Nelson, 471. And then, some of the young ladies that we hear about all the time, Lauren Medic, Morgan Bodie. I mean, people doing things, taking care of business, getting it done in this one.
Yep. It was a steamroll.
Yeah.
Minus the slow start. Yep.
Yeah. That's it. Just taking care of business. You can see everything that happened there. So then Thursday night, come back home. Denver comes into town. This one at the SCSC, once again, the Yotes get off to a slow start. I don't know what it is about those slow starts here, but, first set dropped that 125-17, but then you can see in set 2 rebounded and just put a hurting on them there, 25-15. Third set was close 25-23, but then the fourth one was complete domination by the Yotes. Denver was just ready to go home after that one, 25-13. 3-1 victory for the Yotes.
Yeah, kind of the same story that happened up in at North Dakota State. Just the slow start and then just an absolute train coming down the tracks. And the attendance was a little low thanks to Thursday night high school football playoffs and whatnot. And I think it took a little while for the crowd to get going. And once the crowd got going, then
Chad, hold up. We got that at the end. Hold up.
I know.
Hold up.
All right. Whew. But you can see here. Okay, look at these. You didn't highlight the percentages here, Mark, but Audrey Nelson. Okay, Audrey Nelson. Look at that percentage. It starts with a 6. 6.
She's on a tear. She is on an app this week. Oh my gosh! If we did like an opposite eye chart, like MVP, Audrey Nelson, the Madison, South Dakota native. My goodness.
Amazing. Yep. And she's not the only one doing it. Ava Ball had a great one in this one and on Saturday. You got Morgan Bodie, who's just absolutely crushing it. Morgan Bodie, when she hits that slide right now, it sounds different. She's hitting it harder and it's hitting that floor hard and it just sounds different. So I don't know what happened, since last Saturday when we played South Dakota State, but this Yotes team that I saw this week was way head and shoulders above how we played.
Rumor has it, Mark went into the locker room post match and said, like, figure it the F out. And that, look at, they have figured it out. It's great.
Mark didn't really say that,
no, but Mark did not say that. That is a hypothetical situation, and the opinions on this show are ours and not of USD.
Yes.
There's the banner on the bottom.
So one thing I'll mention here, Lauren Medic actually closed out the match here and with the victory, but Lauren ended up injured. I'm not sure exactly what happened or when it happened, but Saturday night, the Fighting Hawks from North Dakota came to town and the Yotes dominated this one as well, as you can see on the scores. But Lauren Medic did not play and was on crutches on the sideline. So if we have a concern, that's one thing that we're worried about. I don't have any inside information. I'm telling you, I saw with my 2 eyes Lauren on crutches. So that's my expert reporting tip right there.
Good to avenge the. I believe North Dakota, were they the first Summit League matchup of the year? Yeah.
I don't know if Chad, you felt this too, but when we walked in the building, it was over. We were not going to let North Dakota do that to us again. It was over. It was not going to happen again.
Oh yeah. So first set, Yotes win 25-16. Second, 25-18. Third set, they kind of made a little interesting, but the Yotes were able to close it out 25-22. And this one, I think it was 25-20, and they got a couple points to make it, close, but we were up clapping several times at the end of this one to get that victory. Look at some of these percentages here. Audrey Nelson, Morgan Bodie highlighted. You highlighted their entire stat line there, Mark.
They're exactly the same.
Jeez.
How often does that happen?
Yeah.
Also, Cameron Ferris, if you're listening, you did not get your 3 kills that you promised us at tailgate, but we will maybe we'll talk about that with her next week.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, Cameron Ferris, fantastic sport on that one. we were kind of teasing her about kills there, and we set the over under, for entertainment purposes only. And
I love how you highlighted that. That's fantastic.
Her dad told us not to go gambling with that.
Yeah.
Prediction, so
he said,
was
stay
right.
off the apps. Stay off the apps. Amanda Lotion just having a very consistent season. Samantha Laird stepping up and making some plays here with Lauren Medic out. But I thought in this game, in this one, I thought Cameron Ferris played really, really well. Avery Van Hook played really, really well as well. It was a total team effort, but I went back and I came and watched the replay with my wife so that I could tell her about some stuff that happened and whatnot. And we were just super impressed by some of the balls that the Yotes were getting up that really, people like the three of us would have those balls would be on the floor. And the Yotes were showing some wheels, getting after it and getting those balls up in the air and making things happen.
Yeah, they're playing really, really, really well. And it's fun to watch. Really fun to watch.
Yep.
Absolutely. Before the game on Saturday, Mark, tell us about this.
So it was alumni night. There was also a volleyball player that was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So a lot of former players, and Mejana Fonseca sang the national anthem. And Chad, you can confirm this. It was absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. She did an amazing job. It was good to see her.
Yeah. What an amazing national anthem. I mean, top 5. It was great.
Yes.
I mean,
Wait, I watched it on replay. Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Goosebumps.
Very, very good. Very impressed with her. She can come back and do the anthem anytime.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. You're invited.
I'm not in charge of that, but I'm still giving the open invitation. I'll make sure it happens.
Can we open up our show with the national anthem? Can she do that? I mean,
So where are the Yotes at? After the great week here, you can see South Dakota State still in first place in the conference. They're still undefeated. St. Thomas at 7-2, but then South Dakota 6-3. After defeating North Dakota State, that moves South Dakota up into that third position, and then taking care of the business. As far as things go, I don't know. Is this updated? It says our conference streak here is only winning 2, but I think it's winning 3. Did we get that?
Yeah, it might be.
We'll have to double check the accuracy of this, but I'm pretty sure we're up there in at least second place. So we'll make sure, or third place. So we'll make sure we'll have our staff, our graphic art staff,
backroom guys. Our backroom guys will take care of it. Promise you. I'm in charge of them. They'll take care of it.
Yeah, if you're in charge of them, nothing's getting done. All right. Next up, soccer. Soccer played at Omaha. And in this one, 1-2-0. You can see 2 first half goals for the Yotes, and then able to hang in there and keep Omaha off the board for that.
Those were quick goals, right?
2-0
Within
win.
like 10 minutes. Wasn't it really quick?
I think the next
is that
slide
on the
tells us
future
exactly
slide?
when they have them. Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Thanks for proofreading those slides beforehand, Jordan. We really appreciate it.
Sorry about that.
So you can see here the first goal was 12 minutes and 40 seconds in by Ashby Johnson, assisted by Izzy Quintavalli. And then 35 minutes and 24 seconds in, Clarissa Vega got a penalty kick goal. So in this one, the Yotes were able to get the victory. Very impressed. Won the shots on goal. In this case, what's the number in parentheses over here, guys? I don't even know what is.
That's it. So there's shots, and then there's the ones that are actually on net where the goalie has to make a save. That's the number in parentheses.
Okay, so we won that one by, what's your favorite Dolly Parton song?
Oh yeah, 9-5.
Oh, there we go. All right. So then
into the show.
Well, we'll see. If Dolly, if you want to come on, we'll always take you. So then the Yotes went down. Oh, sorry. Before we get there, Mark, tell us about this one. Yep.
Yeah, so I wanted to give her a shout out, and I can't read her name here, unfortunately. But so when Jordan and I were at the South Dakota State game, our regular goalie, Campbell Fisher, one of the South Dakota State players mistaked her head in a scramble in front of the net for for the ball, and she got kicked in the head and was out of the game. So I assume she was out for. I don't know why Campbell missed the game, but
Kelsey Luquin, it says.
Kelsey stepped in and played goalie, and obviously did fantastic. And it was a game that propelled the Yotes into the postseason. So shout out to her. She got Player of the Week for it, and so
Good job, Kelsey.
Big time step up from her.
So we talked about playoffs and stuff like that last week. Yep.
Playoffs.
So then the Yotes went to Denver today. And I was watching this one. I had it on the TV on the big screen. NFL football got delegated to one of the smaller screens over there. And so on the big screen, I was very excited. The Yotes were ahead late in this game, 1-0. And then Denver scored 2 late goals to pull off the 2-1 victory. A little bit disappointing as far as the end goes. You can see the Yotes scored with 72 minutes and 19 seconds in.
Oh, my goodness.
Morgan Sullivan put that one up. But then within the last 8 minutes of the game, 7.5 minutes of the game, Denver put 2 in the net. Brooke Ahern and Hannah Tate put those 2 in there. And, it was so devastating to see this.
I question the officiating, of course. I'm joking.
Looks like Denver was slightly dirty there with a yellow card.
Yeah.
I'm also joking. But
the thing, about this one, the Yotes, it says they had 11 total shots, but only 3 of them were on goal. And it felt like Denver just was not, they were keeping us from getting those good looks, and that was the frustrating part. The good news is this didn't really impact us very much in the playoff standings because the other team that was ahead of us won anyways. And so you can see here the Yotes ended up with the number 4 seed and will host a playoff game, a Summit League tournament game versus Kansas City. Sunday. Yep. And then Oral Roberts and Denver technically tied for the conference lead, but Oral Roberts got the tiebreaker. So they're the 1 seed in this one. And, it's one of those things where got to beat the Roos first, right?
Yep. Survive in advance.
Yeah. Survive in advance.
So next Sunday at 1:00, if you're around, get out. Soccer field.
Are we going live during that match?
We'll have to figure something out. I don't know.
We'll figure it out. It out.
Hope it's not raining.
All right. Men's basketball this afternoon also had an exhibition versus Northern Arizona.
They sure did. I was there. It was an exciting game. I think the Yotes were up. I don't know. Anyone can yell at me for sharing scores and whatnot, but it was 19-7 Yotes at one point in the first half. Northern Arizona went on a huge run, and they were up like 16, 17 points in the second half, and the Yotes started to chip away, and we actually had a chance to tie at the buzzer. I think we ended up losing the game by 3. No stats are available at goyotes.com. A couple things I did notice is Isaac Bruns remains really, really good at basketball, and so is Cameron Fens. And Cameron Fens is also very, very strong. I feel like he could beat the 3 of us up if we tried to attack him for some strange reason. Very strong.
He's not a jabroni like those outrunners.
Exactly. Yeah. And of note, Ashton Smith didn't play, neither did Jaden Crawford, and we heard about Josiah past couple weeks here. He's out for the year. So
I'm telling you, Cam Fens, he got slimmer, he got stronger.
And he had 3 or 4 dunks, as I recall.
Which already sets, that beats the mark 2 years ago. So we're there.
Well, guys, we had a fantastic weekend. We're going to share some of our images with you next. The first couple here, we've got tailgating picture. So Mark with your daughters and Charlie Coyote in front of your tailgater of the game flag. What a fun moment there. Before we did the Coyote call down on the field, Jaron Duffy's standing there, and I was like, hey, we should probably get a picture with Jaron because we don't ever have any pictures with him. And so we got a picture with Jaron Duffy, friend of the show. Dr. O got her friend of the show magnet. So she was very excited about that. She was extremely pumped to get that magnet. Some more pics at the volleyball. You know, we got the alumni photo here, selfie with the alumni. At one point, I happened to walk into the concourse in the football game, and who's standing there? Avery Van Hook. So I just took a selfie with Avery real quick.
You sent that to us, and I'm like, of course. 2 seconds, you're gone.
Yeah, only
And
a
I'm
Chad
like,
Burger.
Avery's down there. Are you kidding me?
You know, this stuff just happens to Chad Burger. I don't know what it is, but yep, it's just.
I think I need to get a face cut out of myself because the luck you guys have with these amazing student athletes, alumni, whatever. You gotta get me in on these.
On some of these photos. Yep. And then while we were at the tailgate party, friend of the show, Max Burchell walked by.
Great
and
guy.
So we were able to give Max his friend of the show magnet as well. So talk to him a little bit about what he's doing right now for a career, how much he misses basketball, things like that. So that was pretty fun to see Max as well. Additionally, after the volleyball match, thanks to Ethan brought a Sharpie with, and we were able to go around and the girls were able to get autographs from a lot of the players, and then just take selfies with some of them as well. And so you can see some of the selfies on here. Mark, I don't know if you want to talk us through any of these.
Well, I mean, we've mentioned it many, many times here. Leanne's group is just fantastic, from the coaches all the way down to the players. And so always willing to say hi, sign an autograph, and take selfies. They're just, I mean, I don't have a bad thing to say about one of them. They're all amazing and super easy to cheer for and fun to watch.
Yep. And Sam Unteed was on the program, and so she's up there in the upper left picture with a photo with us. And then you can see Avery Van Hook, friend of the show, in the just directly below that one. And then up in the top middle there, we've got Cameron Ferris. On the top right, friend of the show, Morgan Bodie. And then Amanda Lotion in the lower right-hand corner there of the screen. So,
God, we're lucky. We just got tremendous student athletes, you guys. Yep. Just A+.
Yeah, shout out to some of the other young ladies that signed autographs, and we just weren't savvy enough to actually get photos. But we got autographs from Ava Ball, Lauren Medic, Audrey Nelson. Was there anyone else, Mark? You got the autograph sheets, don't you?
I do. It's not nearby me, though.
Okay. But yeah, shout out to all those student athletes that just, did a great job, and that makes those kids' night when they get to go up and get those autographs. I don't know. There's something special about it.
Yeah. The more autographs we got, the more the kids started smiling and started to hunt out the next. Where are we going next? Where are we going next? So it was.
And guys, correct me if I'm wrong. And like, shameless plug here, but like other fans that have kids, like this is what they do. I mean, you want to get to the SCSC and watch these volleyball matches if you can. Bring the kiddos out.
Bring your Sharpie.
They are very accessible. And they're all Summit League players, and they are right there. And they're humans, they're student athletes, they're college. They'll take pictures with you. It's amazing. Like I wish more people took advantage of this, and I that's just utilize this, because they're just great humans and great student athletes, and we're so lucky to have them. And it's another reason to get to the SCSC for these volleyball matches.
Yep. So Sharpie, hit us up if you're interested. We'd love to have you on board. Get a Sharpie, bring it with, and we'll have you on as a sponsor of the Howling Podcast in the future.
We'll clip that and tag them and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Do you think Celine Dion is a Sharpie user?
There was some other stuff at the game here, Jordan. You're on this lower left-hand one here.
Oh man.
Tell us about that one.
Well, yeah, Mark. I mean, Mark was invited to do the howl at the beginning of the game, and God love you, Mark. He invited Chad and I and the fam up there for the pregame. And I tell you what, it was great because I got to use this as leverage for the boys, my two sons, the whole week. with behavioral things, saying, hey, you're gonna be on field pregame and potentially for something else. I didn't reveal to them what the other thing was. So if you listen, you get to do this. And God bless Jaron Duffy, Marcus Destin, and Michaela Moore, and that whole staff. I mean, my boys had the time of their life on Saturday, and got to witness the team coming out of the tunnel, and got to do the howl with everybody. And Mark's speech was amazing, goosebumps. Just an awesome experience, and this can be anybody. This really can. This can be anybody that can do this. But I shared on my social channels. I was just very blessed for you guys and for the folks at USD, and to create these core memories for my boys. I was in the marching band. I got to march on that field for 4 years, right? But for them to create these memories and to go to these games, it was just unbelievable. It was awesome.
And then Mark, I don't know if you want to talk about you and the girls as well.
Yeah, as Jordan mentioned there, Michaela's really great about not only getting us in the right spot where we're supposed to be and whatnot, also very willing to grab a phone and take pictures and make sure that we have some evidence of it actually happening. So yeah, those are, like Jordan said, I know my girls enjoyed it. Normally they're asking when we can go home, but it was just an awesome day. And I know the football team lost, and I shared a message with Dr. O actually over on Facebook. And I said, I know I'm supposed to be a little upset or down about the football game result, but I'm just not. I just had such an awesome day. So like Jordan said, thank everybody that was involved in that whole thing and make that thing happen. But yeah, top 5 moment for me all time.
What a day.
It was a day.
Great day.
Well, coming up this week, Coyote Report on Monday night with John Thayer. Football versus UND Saturday, 1:00. Get to the Dome. Jordan talked about it earlier. We don't need to say anymore. Okay, get there. Volleyball at St. Thomas on Thursday, at SDSU Saturday. Couple chances for the Yotes to go on the road and do some things here. Move up in the standings a little bit, because St. Thomas, SDSU, tough opponents there.
Yep.
And then swimming and diving is hosting the Coyote Extravaganza on Friday and Saturday. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like a great time.
Sounds fun.
Yep. So get out to the Coyote Extravaganza. Check that out. Soccer postseason, we mentioned that just a few minutes ago, versus Kansas City on Sunday at 1:00. Be there. There's no place else you should be. Cross country has the Summit League Championships down in Omaha, the belly button of the United States. And Saturday at 1:00, that one's scheduled for. Did we talk about that previously on the show? Sorry.
Not the Mecca.
The Omaha Tourism Department is not going to welcome us to Omaha anytime soon. And then it's not this week, but we're very excited for it. Obviously, we've had Coach Peterson and Coach Eighmey on the last couple of weeks here. Men's and women's basketball have their opener on November 3rd. So, lots of good stuff to look forward to for the Yotes. Anything else, guys, you want to talk about?
No.
Are we exhausted yet? This has been a long show.
This has flown by. This is great.
All right. Well, without further ado, and now.
And that's just what they wanted to do there. And all things considered, again, as you see the iChart cardboard cutout, how appropriate.
Through the review, the iChart made its way to the video board. It really injected some energy.
Our friend Mark Wendt is famous for holding up that iChart at men's and women's basketball games when officials make questionable calls. We go ahead and give our iChart moments of the week, whether they're questionable calls in life or questionable calls on the field. And so we'll go ahead and give our eye chart moments of the week here in just a moment. But before we do, last show's winner, Jordan, you came from behind and ended up taking it. Over 13,000 total votes here, and you got 38.7% of the votes. So it's your turn to go ahead and give us your eye chart of the week.
Well, thank you. I'd like to thank everyone involved. I think it's been a while since I won. So this is truly an honor. It really simple eye chart, and I know that it was very frustrating on Saturday with the offense of the football game. But as we've experienced in the past, very recent past, in fact, against the mighty Bison, against North Dakota State to end the regular season last year, it ain't over till it's over. My eye chart of the week goes to fans that leave games early. If we want to narrow that down to USD fans, fine. I'm not in charge of putting the tweet out of what the eye chart specific. Fans that leave games early. I thought our Yotes had a chance there at the end. I know it was 2 possessions. But the fact is, once the second half started, where did everybody go? It wasn't that gorgeous outside. The beer is just as cold inside the dome as it is outside. Our Yotes were still in it, and I feel like there were hundreds of people that went back out to tailgate that just didn't. And folks, this is playoff football going into last week and going the rest of the season, the last 2 games of the year. The SDSU games to sell out. UND, I hope you all buy tickets because it's still a playoff game. And I could go on a long tangent. Chad's going to mute me here in a couple seconds. But fans that leave the game early or get, pissed negative because things aren't going well, we still need you. We still need you to be loud. And I thought a lot of our fans just left and didn't come back. And so fans that leave early, eye chart of the week nominee for me.
Ban reentry.
Bingo.
All right, Mark, you're next.
My eye chart of the week is going to be low-hanging fruit, and we're over time here, so I'm going to make it really quick. Sac State University president, Dr. Luke Wood. He's bound and determined to burn every bridge he has in the FCS. I don't know why. They don't have a conference next year. They don't have an invite to the FBS, but he continues just to, try to get people to root against him, and it's working. He called Montana the Pandas instead of the Grizzlies, and he told them that their fans don't travel well, and it all ended very poorly. They lost again. They're 4-4 in the year. They're not going to make the playoffs in JV, as he'd called it previously. So Dr. Luke Wood, president of Sac State, you get my eye chart of the week.
All right. We did have a few fan nominees as well, Mark. One of them, who was the PA announcer during the scrimmage today?
So we had a sub. Thomas Jones was not available apparently. So I don't, this guy Cole something stepped in. Just a mess from start to finish. I'm teasing. Cole is amazing.
Cole, you
Cole
do
amazing.
fine. Don't be hard on yourself, Cole. Come on now.
He might have mentioned that he called Northern Arizona Northern Iowa at one point. So
that's Cole. We all make mistakes, Cole. You're okay, buddy. It's all right.
He was awesome. Cole's awesome.
But the referees also might have called 347 combined fouls in that game. So they're actually still playing right now. Don't know if you're aware. Mark left the game early, so no, I'm just all right. So if you have your fan nominees, go ahead and send them to us. We'll try to get them on the show next week. But I'll go next. My eye chart of the week, just like Jordan's, it's one I've done previously. Thursday night high school football games in South Dakota have got to go. There is no reason that we need to be playing games for high school football on a Thursday night. We are going to, this Thursday night in the state of South Dakota, we're going to ship kids on a bus from West River to East River or vice versa and have them play a high school football playoff game. I guarantee those kids are getting out of school early on Thursday, so they're going to miss that day of school. Then after the game, and I don't know if you guys have ever played a football game before, but it's not much fun sitting in a bus after a football game. They're going to sit in a bus for 6 hours, ride back across the state, and then their coaches are going to tell them they're supposed to go to school the next day. Baloney, okay? You cannot expect a high school kid, a 16, 17-year-old kid, to go sit in a tiny plastic chair for 7 hours after they just played one of the most physical football games of their life and then sat on a bus, on a tiny little seat in a bus for 6 hours in the middle of the night, eating some cold pizza on the way home. This is not how we should be treating human beings, let alone student athletes in the state of South Dakota. We have to do better. Let's move the playoffs to Friday night and move on with it. That's my iChart of the week.
I haven't seen you this fired up since the Omaha Jabronis.
Well, guys, hey.
Sportos, the SDHHAA, whatever the acronym is.
Yeah.
Change it up.
Let's figure it out. We have to figure this out. We cannot continue doing this every year and just say, well, it's because of this. Okay. I don't care what it's because of. Figure it out. Find a solution. That's all it comes down to.
Woo.
All right.
What? That's a fired up iChart this week for all three. Let's go.
All right. Well, as always, if you or anyone you know needs help, okay, go ahead and call, text, chat 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. No judgment, just help. If you need someone to talk to, okay, you can reach out to one of us, but you know what? That 988, they're always open. They're always available. Okay. So reach out to them. They're going to help you out, get through tough times. We want you to be around. Okay. And if you're having a tough time, okay, come to a yoke game with one of us. We're going to show you a good time. All right. So
that's right.
988, take advantage of that. Anything else you guys want to say about that?
Yep. No, it's always a great first step just to reach out to them and get you started. So stick around. We need you here.
Absolutely. And then special thanks to our sponsor, 19 Brewing Company. We talked about them at the beginning of the show, but that was like an hour and a half ago. Main Street Vermilion. Make sure you go in. Tell them the Howling Podcast sent you. Take one of those delicious brews on tap. They even have root beer on tap. Okay. Enjoy the wonderful setting inside 19 Brewing Company. They got some awesome stuff. Games over there, a little lounge section. Work on some homework, whatever you need to get done. Enjoy a cold one. Perfect place to spend some time.
For sure.
All right. As always, the Howling Podcast is produced by the Wakanda Peach Company out of Burbank, South Dakota. The Wakanda Peach Company, LLC, is awesome. Nothing else to say about it. Okay? Amazing. Until next time, we're the Howling Podcast. Go Yotes.
Go Yotes.
Let's go! 3 idiots on a podcast. Like,
I don't know what I'm doing.
Runza sucks.
We don't know if any of that's true, but Bill. Oh, Jordan, don't give me this technically crap. Come on.
Got personal this week.
Lots of stuff happened.
Chad Berger, Brian Dawson with USB.
You're wrong.
You guys do it in a really professional manner, and it's awesome.